Hi guys, in this video we are going to continue with haloalkanes and haloarenes. In the previous video we have seen about the introduction of haloalkanes and arenes and how to classify these compounds. As I told earlier, based on the nature of CX bond, we can classify these compounds as primary, secondary and tertiary. And in this video we are going to continue how to identify a compound as primary, secondary and tertiary. Since we are talking about haloalkanes, the functional group here is X. X represent fluorine, chlorine, bromine or iodine. So the functional group is attached to this carbon. And this carbon is called as alpha carbon. The carbon to which the functional group is attached is called as alpha carbon. So this is the functional group. This is the carbon to which it is attached. So this is the alpha carbon. If your alpha carbon has one carbon neighbor, which means if your alpha carbon is bonded to one carbon, then this is termed as primary. Same way, if your alpha carbon has two carbon neighbors, this is termed as secondary. And if your alpha carbon has three carbon neighbors, then it is termed as tertiary. Now look at these examples. See, this is ethyl chloride. This is the ethyl part, ethyl chloride. This is the functional group. This is the alpha carbon, and alpha carbon has one carbon neighbor. So this is primary. Look at this example. This is the functional group, alpha carbon, and it has two carbon neighbors. You should not consider this because this carbon is not directly attached to the alpha carbon. Only these two carbons have direct contact with the alpha carbon. So this is termed as secondary. If your alpha carbon has three carbon neighbors, then this is tertiary. Now look at the naming. This is secondary and totally 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon atoms are there. So butyl, secondary butyl bromide is the common name. And here this is tertiary part and 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon atoms are there. Tertiary butyl chloride is the common name. And you have to note down one thing here. When I counted the carbon atoms, I counted the total number of carbon atoms and I said 4 carbon atoms, so butyl. This is not how we do it in IUPAC naming. In IUPAC naming, you should not count this total carbon atoms. You have to choose the parent chain and count the number of atoms in that and then give the parent name accordingly. And the next one is commonly used as neopentyl. Pent means 5 carbon atoms. This is very easy to write. This is the tertiary part. Write the tertiary part and put one CH2 here. And this is the alpha carbon because the functional group is attached to this carbon. So this part is called as neopentyl. And the next one is vinyl and allyl, which we have seen in the previous video. If the functional group is attached directly to the double bonded system, we call this as vinyl. If your functional group is attached to a carbon and that carbon, which is the sp3 carbon, is attached to the double bonded system, then this is alkyl group. So now we will move on to the naming. How to name a compound by common and IUPAC and naming. See the first example, it's very simple example. Before going into the examples, let's recall the IUPAC rules. What is the first rule while naming the compounds? Choose the longest chain which has the functional group. And after choosing the chain, number it in such a way that the functional group gets the least position. That's the first rule. Now look here, this is the functional group. Okay, and there are only 2 carbon atoms. I have numbered it as 1, 2. You can number it as 1, 2 also, but we don't prefer that. Why? Because if you start numbering from this side, chlorine gets the second position, which is not acceptable. Functional group should get the least position. So this is the functional group and 2 carbon atoms are there. And when there are 2 carbon atoms, what is the parent name? Ethane. 1-chloroethane is the IUPAC name. Now come to the second example. You have this condensed form. If you're not very comfortable in numbering this way, you can expand and write it this way. Okay, so see, choose the longest chain, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the second position, you have chlorine. You will not start the number from this side because chlorine would get the third position, 1, 2, 3. Chlorine should get the least position. So this is the right way of numbering the parent chain. So 2-chloro, 4 carbon atoms, butane. 2-chlorobutane is the IUPAC name. This example, again I've expanded and I've written. Now see, in this example, 1, 2, 3. I can choose this as the parent chain or 1, 2, 3, this as the parent chain. But we prefer this because this chain has the functional group. You have to choose that carbon chain as parent chain which has the functional group. So this is the parent chain. 1, 2, 3. In first position we have bromine. The second position we have 2 methyl groups. While naming, go with the alphabetical order. Br, bromo comes first and then methyl. 1 bromo. There are 2 methyl groups, so mention the number twice. 2, 2 dimethyl propane because 3 carbon atoms. 1 bromo. 2,2-dimethyl propane is the IUPAC name, and I've told you already this is the neopentyl part. So neopentyl bromide is the common name, and this is the same as second example. Without expansion, I've written it, numbered it in the condensed form itself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, in second carbon we have a chlorine, so 2-chlorobutane is the IUPAC name. And can you tell me whether this is primary, secondary or tertiary? See, this is the functional group. See here, functional group is attached to this carbon. So this is the alpha carbon, and alpha carbon has 2 carbon neighbors. So this is secondary. So secondary butyl chloride is the common name. We'll see few more examples. See the fifth example, we have CHCl3. How many carbon atoms are there? Only 1 carbon atom is there. So what is the parent name if there is only 1 carbon atom? Methane. Okay, so count how many chlorine atoms are there. 3 chlorine atoms are there. So trichloromethane is the IUPAC name. Common name is chloroform. And sixth example, CCl4. How many carbon atoms? Only 1 carbon atom and 4 chlorine atoms are there. Okay, so methane is the parent name. Tetrachloromethane is the IUPAC name, and the common name is carbon tetrachloride. When it comes to common name, we don't have any special rules to name it. That's why it is called as common name. So in each country they have a different name. So to avoid the confusion only, we have the IUPAC rules. So name the compounds with the IUPAC name following the rules, and the common names you can memorize. So far we have seen the IUPAC and common names of haloalkanes. Now we are going to move on to haloarenes. What are haloarenes? I told you when we say arenes, what will be present there? A benzene ring will be there. So here we have a benzene. In that benzene, if you have a halogen, then that is haloarene. C6H6 is the formula of benzene. And if you replace one hydrogen in benzene with CH3, we call it as toluene. So C6H6 is benzene, C6H5CH3 is toluene. Now we'll try to name this compound. You can name this compound in 2 ways. One, you can consider this as toluene and treat Cl as the substituent. So 1, 2, second position chlorine is there. So 2-chloro-toluene is the IUPAC name. And the other way, you can take this benzene as the parent and treat these two as the substituent, chloro and methyl. Now you have to number this 1, 2 or 1, 2. Now the confusion arises whether to give first position to chlorine or to methyl. In that case, again go with the alphabetical order. Chloro, C comes first and then methyl M. So Cl gets the first position and methyl gets the second position. So 1 chloro, 2 methyl, benzene is the IUPAC name. And the next example, in the previous video I told you, if there is a CH2 group with benzene, then that is benzyl. So benzyl chloride is the common name. Now come to the IUPAC name. In IUPAC name, count how many carbon atoms are there? Only 1. You should not count this as 6 carbon atoms because this is as a whole is benzene. So this is C6H5. So we call this as phenyl. C6H6 is benzene and 1 hydrogen is removed from here. So this is phenyl. So this is treated as a substituent and chloro is another substituent, and we have only 1 carbon atom. So what would be the parent name? If there is 1 carbon atom, methane. Okay, so we have 2 substituents, chloro, phenyl. C comes first and then P, phenyl. So chloro, phenyl, methane is the IUPAC name. So this is how we have to name these compounds using the nomenclature. You have a lot of compounds in the book back in text and examples. Try to solve those compounds, try to name them. by following the IUPAC nomenclature, and also try to find out whether the compound is having primary, secondary or tertiary carbon, which would be useful in the upcoming reactions SN1 and SN2 mechanism. We need to know the difference between primary, secondary and tertiary. So try to find out in that book bag compounds. And the next topic that we are going to see is isomers. What are isomers? Isomers are those compounds which have the same molecular formula but they have different structural formula. We have different classification for isomerism which you had studied in 11th standard. Let's not go very deep into that because we are going to discuss only structural isomers here. So it's enough for you to know what are structural isomers. Structural isomers are those compounds whose molecular formula will be the same but their structures will be different. I'll show you a few examples. Actually, we are learning about haloalkanes, but I've written alkanes here because before going into the isomers of haloalkanes, let's have a short recall on the isomers of alkanes, which will be helpful for you to do the further isomers. See, I've written methane, ethane, propane. Formula for methane is CH4, ethane is CH3, CH3, propane is CH3, CH2, CH3. I'm going to teach you a shortcut, the condensed way of writing the formula because it will be very easier for us to identify the number of isomers if you represent the structure in this way. Now see, this is CH4. How many carbon atoms are there? Only one. So put 1 dot. If you put 1 dot, then that is methane. For ethane, how many carbon atoms are there? 2. Put 2 dots and join the 2 dots. So this is ethane. For propane, 3 carbon atoms are there. Put 3 dots, join the 3 dots. This is propane. Okay, just now I told you what are isomers. They have the same formula, but they can can be represented in different structures. But for these three, you cannot generate new structure. In whatever way you write, you end up with the same structure. So these three compounds do not have isomers. That's why I've written no isomers. Now come to the next example, butane. How many carbon atoms are there? 4 carbon atoms are there. Put 4 dots and join the 4 dots. You get butane. So this is the structure of butane. Now I'll teach you a trick how to write the isomers. When you want to write the isomers of a given compound, first put the dots as many carbons are there in the given formula. 1, 2, 3, 4 because this is butane. And in the next isomer, reduce 1 carbon. So put 3 dots and treat that 1 carbon as the substituent. This is CH3. Okay, this one line represents methyl group CH3. So this is butane. Now name this 1, 2, 3. 3 carbon atoms propane. In the second position we have methyl. So the name is 2-methyl propane. So these two are structural isomers of butane. Why they are structural isomers? Because in both the cases molecular formula is the same. How many carbons are there? In both the cases we have 4 carbons and 10 hydrogens, but the structures are different. This is butane, this is 2-methyl propane. So these two are structural isomers. So now come to the next example, pentane. Totally 5 carbon atoms are there. Put 5 dots. To write the isomers, I told you reduce 1 carbon and then treat that carbon as the substituent. So put 4 dots and then reduce 1 more, put 3 dots. See here I've written 5 dots, so join all the 5 dots and you get a isomer. And here I've written 4 dots, join all the 4 dots and treat 1 carbon which you didn't put here as the substituent. Here 3 dots, join the 3 dots and 2 carbons are not there, put 2 bonds, 2 lines. This is one CH3, this is another CH3. So all these 3 are isomers. Now try to name that. This is pentane, 5 carbon atom. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon atom is butane. The second position we have a methyl group. So 2-methyl butane is the name. Here 1, 2, 3. In the second carbon we have 2 methyl groups. So 2,2-dimethyl propane is the IUPAC name. So all the 3, they have the same formula, but what is different? Their structures are different. So when the structures are different and the formula is same, then we call them as isomers. So just have a recall here. When you want to write the isomers, okay, reduce 1 dot, okay, reduce 1 carbon and treat that carbon as the substituent. So you can write the isomers. So these are the isomers of alkanes. But our topic is haloalkanes. Now I'll show you how to write the isomers of haloalkanes. Now look at this propane. I said no isomer for this propane because anyway you write, you get the same structure, so no isomer. Alright, but when I remove one hydrogen and replace it with a halogen, say for example chlorine, I get propyl chloride or chloropropane. Okay, so when I have chloropropane, I can put the position of chlorine to be 1 or 2. Now I'll show you that example. Look here. The first example is C3H7Cl. So what is that? It is nothing but chloropropane. How many carbon atoms are there? 3 carbon atoms. So how many dots you should put? 3 dots you should put for 3 carbon. So I have written 3 dots. But Cl is there. So put a line and write Cl. Don't count the Cl also. You have to start counting from here. 1, 2, 3. In the first carbon, there is a Cl. So this is one formula, one structure. And in the second structure, 3 dots. Now I can change the position of chlorine in the second carbon. So this is 1 chloropropane and this is 2 chloropropane. So now they both are isomers. Why they are isomers? Because they have the same formula, but what is different? Their structures are different. So this is 1 chloropropane and 2 chloropropane. So remember, when you want to write isomers for haloalkanes, you can change the position of the halogen to generate new structures and reduce the number of carbon atoms and treat them as substituent to generate new structures. In alkanes, what we did, we reduced only the number of carbons and then we treated them as substituents. But here you have to do both to generate new structures and get new isomers. Now we'll move on to the next example, C4H9Cl. So totally 4 carbon atoms are there. Always don't rush up, go step by step. It's very easy. So go step by step and try to write the isomers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon atoms are there and there is 1 chlorine. Put a line and write Cl. So join all the 4 dots and put the chlorine at the end. Okay, and always remember you have to start counting from here, not here. This is the substituent. So 1, 2, 3, 4. In the first position we have chlorine. 1 chlorobutane is the IUPAC name. So I'm going to generate new isomers, okay, by moving the position of chlorine. See, chlorine in the first position and one more chance is chlorine can be put in the second position. If I put chlorine in the second position, I get 2 chlorobutane. Now these two are isomers. So I got 2 isomers. Now a question arises, why don't I move the chlorine to the third position and write 3 chlorobutane? If you move the position of chlorine to the third, so what you will do, you will start numbering from this side only. 1, 2. Again it gets the second position. So 1, 2 and 3, 4. Okay, they don't make much any difference. So 1 and 4 are same, 2 and 3 are same. So you can write only 2 isomers for this. One step is over. Now I told you already, for writing isomers, reduce 1 carbon and treat that as a substituent. See, I have written 1, 2, 3 dots and the Cl as such in the first carbon. Now what is missing? 1 carbon. Put that carbon here as the substituent. Now this is the third isomer. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you should not count this. 1, 2, 3. I'll write and show you here. This is the first carbon. 1, 2 and 3. So 1 chloro, 2 methyl propane, because 3 carbon atoms are there. 1 chloro, 2 methyl propane is the IUPAC name. Okay. Now you can, as I told you earlier, you can move the position of chlorine to the second carbon so that I could generate one more isomer. Keep the methyl group here itself, because if you change the position, again you will end up with butane. So this is the correct position when you write it in propane. So this is the methyl group and I'm moving the position of chlorine to the second carbon. So this is again propane, but 1, 2, 3. So how will you name this? 2 chloro, 2 methyl propane. Why not 2 methyl, 2 chloropropane? Alphabetical order. C comes first and then M. So 2 chloro, 2 methyl propane is the IUPAC name. So C4H9Cl has how many isomers? 4 isomers. in your book you have a example question. Draw all the possible structural isomers of C5H11Br. Now I'll show you how to write the structural isomers of C5H11Br. Go step by step. First step, what you have to do, put 5 dots. Okay, put 5 dots and read that, put that Br at the last carbon, one step, and then put 4 dots and put Br at the last carbon, and here put 3 dots, put Br at the last carbon to begin with. Now come back here. I have 5 dots, Br in the first position. Same way, this is actually pentane, and same 5 dots, Br in the second position. Same 5 dots, Br in the third position. No, so I've written 3 isomers with this. Alright, I'll show you the names in the next slide. So how do you write the isomers? First, put the total number of dots, as many carbons are there in the given compound, and then change the position of the halogen. Now come here. We have reduced one dot. So 4 dots, Br is there in the first position. So one carbon is not there. So put that as the substituent in the second position. Okay, because you cannot put here, you will get the same this one. So put here one. I've generated one isomer. In the second isomer, keep that Br as such. Move the position of methyl group to the third carbon. So I've generated second isomer. Right now, keep this structure as such and move the position of bromine to another carbon. See, same structure, and I'm moving the bromine to second carbon. Understood? And the fourth one, keep this same from here. Keep the methyl group in the third position, Br to the second position. So with butane, okay, I have written 4 isomers. And now come here, we have 3 carbon atoms and 1 bromine. When there are 3 carbon atoms, how many methyl groups I can put? 2 methyl groups. So only possibility is here. So I have written 2 methyl groups, and this is propane. Now this is the bond line structure. In the next slide, I have written this bond line structure as the formula. Now look here. This is the formula. Okay, CH3, CH2, 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 Br. So what is that? How many carbon atoms are there? 5 carbon atoms. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carbon atoms, and in the first position we have Br. So join all this. So this is the first example that we have written. Okay, 1 bromopentane. See the next one. This is 2 bromopentane, 3 bromopentane. Okay, and with butane we have written 4 structures. Have you seen this? This is the 4 structures that we have written. The first one, can you name it? See, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 bromo, 2 methyl butane. 1 bromo, 2 methyl butane. Here 1 bromo, 3 methyl butane. Same way, look here, 2 bromo, 2 methyl butane. 2 bromo, 3 methyl butane. Okay, and try to name this 1, 2, 3. 1 bromo, 2, 2 dimethyl propane. Are you clear? So totally how many isomers are possible for the formula C5H11Br? There are 8 isomers possible. Okay, remember it's very easy. If you practice, then it will be easy for you to write. First thing, you have to put the dots and then reduce the dots, and then change the position of the bromine, or I mean the halogen, and then change the position of the methyl group, that is the carbon group. So this lines, they represent the extra carbon that you are not putting here as dots. Okay, now we'll move on to the next in-text question that is given in the book. They have given you structures like this, and they ask you to write the IUPAC names of the following. Okay, write the IUPAC names of the following. Now see, I'll show you how to expand and write. See, CH, this is how it's given in the book. This is how it's given in the book. CH3 to, okay, now this is the CH3 I've written here, and there is a bond here. Put that bond, and there is a double bond between this carbon. So put that double bond, put that C here, and with that C a H is attached. So CH, and again from there a single bond is there. So put that single bond, and you have a C here. In that C you have a Br, you have a CH3, and you have a H. So C, you have a Br, CH I've written, and the CH3. So this is written like this. Okay, so start numbering from either ways. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the question arises, why we are not numbering it from this side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we have a double bond, okay, when we have a double bond and a halogen, double bond is given preference. Double bond should be given the least position. That's why we have started the number from this side. So double bond is in the second carbon. So if you number this way, double bond gets the fourth position. So that's not right. Double bond should get the least position. Now how many carbon atoms are there? Totally 5 carbon atoms, which means pentane. When there is a double bond, it's not ane, it's ene, pentene. Where is the double bond? In the second position. So pent 2-ene. And in the fourth position, you have bromo, 4-bromo, pent 2-ene is the IUPAC name. See, this is the order which you have studied in grade 11. When there are multiple functional groups, this is the order followed. Okay. Halogen is not here, because halogen usually comes in the prefix, so we don't give preference. So when there is a double bond or a triple bond, that should be given preference, not the halogen. I've given one more example. See, look here.